Commissioner Keen, it looks like we are now video streaming. So if you have everything you need to start the meeting, we go ahead and do so.
Very good. Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. I'm Commissioner Dwight Keen. I'm joined this morning by fellow Commissioner Annie Keither. At this time, I will call to order this evidentiary hearing in docket number 25-CONS-3373-CPEN on this Thursday, December 17th, 2025. We're now on the record and video streaming, and what we are about here this morning is the consideration of a request for hearing in consolidated dockets 25-CONS-3373-CPEN, docket 25-CONS-33-78-CPEN, and 25-CONS-3419-CPEN, collectively involving SH Oil Operations LLC's alleged failure to comply with K.A.R. 82-3-111 at 45 wells in Chase, Harvey, Marion, and Morris counties in Kansas. At this time, I will turn to entries of appearance, and I will start with the commission staff.
Thank you. Good morning. Tristan Kimbrell on behalf of commission staff and the public generally.
All right, thank you. Mr. Phillips?
Jody Phillips on behalf of SH Oil Operations LLC, Commissioner.
Thank you very much. My understanding is that at the December 12th pre-hearing conference, there was no anticipated issue with notice, so I will turn to the staff to ask, does staff have any recommendations regarding the notice of this hearing?
Yes, notice of this hearing was contained in the presiding officer order setting this evidentiary hearing, and that was filed on October 31st, 2025. The order was properly served on all parties, and staff further notes that all parties are in attendance today. So based on these facts, staff recommends the commission find that notice is proper and that the commission has jurisdiction to hear this matter at this place and time.
All right, very well. Are there any objections to notice? Hearing none, based on staff recommendation, I find notice is proper and that the commission has jurisdiction over this proceeding and place. Was somebody wishing to state something?
No.
All right.
Throat.
Okay. Let's take up some preliminary matters. Again, my understanding is that at the December 12th pre-hearing conference, the parties did not anticipate raising any preliminary issues. But let's discuss the procedure during the hearing after we take a brief review of these preliminary matters. What I want to do really is to basically run through some of the commission's standard reminders. First, we are conducting this over Zoom, and sometimes things can go wrong. If any party encounters any technical issue, please just ask to go off the record. Then we can recess and resolve the technical issue before going back on the record. Second, witnesses are asked to keep their microphones off or muted when they are not scheduled to talk. And if everyone would mute their cell phones, other phones in their offices, and other electronic devices, that would be very much appreciated. Third, so that the parties are aware, if the commissionary ruling, we will go off the record and the commission will enter into a Zoom breakout room to discuss that, and then we'll return and go back on the record. Fourth, please be very careful to identify exactly what you are referring to when discussing pre-filed testimony or exhibits. We have copies of all of that on hand, so we should be able to follow along if you'll assist us in identifying those matters to which you're making reference. So with that, do the parties have any other preliminary matters to take up?
No, Commissioner.
All right.
No, Commissioner.
Very good. Thank you. Okay. Regarding procedure for the hearing, the parties are typically allowed to make opening statements, and after opening statements, we will have examination of witnesses. After the direct examination of each witness, there will be an opportunity for cross-examination, commission questions, and redirect. Any further examination will be at the discretion of the commission. Following witness examination, we will allow closing statements and arrange for the filing of post-hearing briefs if necessary. and then we will conclude the hearing. All right, very well. With these preliminary matters out of the way now, I think it's time for us to move to opening statements. We'll begin first with Mr. Kimbrell, please.
Thank you. Commissioners, this is likely one of the most straightforward conservation dockets you'll ever preside over, with none of the relevant facts in dispute. SH Oil had 45 wells that were inactive in excess of the time allowed by K.A.R. 823111 without being plugged, returned to service, or approved for temporary abandonment status. Commission staff mailed a notice of violation letter to SH Oil regarding the 45 wells back in March. When the deadline in the letter passed, staff performed field inspections and confirmed that all 45 wells were still inactive. Since SH Oil hadn't brought the wells into compliance, the commission issued penalty orders for all 45 of those wells. The penalty orders were issued back in May and June. And since that time, SH Oil has only submitted TA applications for 13 wells, with staff approving 9 of them. So this means that in the 9 months since staff first sent out an NOV letter, SH Oil has only brought 9 wells into compliance and still has 36 wells out of compliance with commission regulations. So since SH Oil was not in compliance with K.A.R. 823111 for 45 wells when the commission issued the penalty order in this docket, and it's still out of compliance for most of those wells, staff asks that the commission affirm the penalty orders in this docket. Thank you.
Commissioner Keen, you're on mute.
Pardon me, we'll try it this way. It's easier. Great. Thank you, Mr. Kimbrell. Mr. Phillips, please.
Thank you, commissioners. This is a case where SH Oil has purchased the wells at issue under these penalty orders via an auction that occurred in December of 2024. The timing and closing of that auction took a number of months after the auction originally closed. And upon closing of the transaction in the process of the T1s, SH Oil did not receive any well files or really any historical information associated with these wells and has struggled to obtain compliance with commission regulations due to a number of factors, including the wet season that we experienced this summer and a lack of resources and ability to, I apologize, our lights just went out. A lack of ability to access well locations over the summer. We understand that this has been a slow process, but unfortunately this package turned out to be more than SH Oil could chew at the time of closing, and they have taken remedial action, including selling other assets to raise funds to be able to bring these wells into compliance and fund the research into these wells that is necessary to satisfy staff's requirements for TA applications. The TA applications that have been submitted and declined were submitted on containing the same information except for fluid levels, which have been updated as the previous operator had submitted. And upon that, SH Oil is required to go and conduct further investigation to determine the status and provide the information staff requires to submit the TAs. Thank you, commissioners.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Phillips. I believe we are ready now for the examination of witnesses. Since we do not have a court reporter present, either I or when Chair French joins us, either of us will be swearing the witnesses. All right, I will turn to you first. Mr. Kimbrell, you may call your witness.
Thank you. Staff calls Jeff Clock.
Good morning, Mr. Clock.
Good morning, Commissioner Keen.
If you would, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Very well, thank you. Mr. Kimbrell.
Thank you. Mr. Clock, could you please state your full name for the record?
Donald Jeffrey Clock.
Are you the same Jeff Clock who caused to be filed in this docket direct testimony consisting of 7 pages and 1 exhibit, and rebuttal testimony consisting of 6 pages?
Yes.
Do you have any corrections to make to your testimony?
I don't have any corrections to make to my direct testimony or my rebuttal testimony. In reviewing The penalty order, I did see that staff had made an error on some of the photographs, and I'll go ahead and point those out now. This will be on Exhibit B, page 4 of 6. Exhibit B, 4 of 6.
Thank you. Do you swear that the answers contained in your pre-filed testimonies were and are true to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
At this time, I move for the admission of Jeff Clark's pre-filed direct testimony and attached exhibit and pre-filed rebuttal testimony to the formal record.
Very well. Is there any objection? Without objection, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr. Phillips.
No, Commissioner.
Very well. Without objection, they are admitted.
Thank you. I tend to the witness for cross-examination.
Very well. Mr. Phillips, cross-examination.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Good morning.
With respect to the penalty orders that were discussed, or the TA applications that were discussed in Mr. Kimbrell's opening statements, specifically the 4 that were denied, was the information contained in those TA applications consistent with the information submitted by the previous operator for TA applications on those wells?
I'm not sure. I don't have those in front of me, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure of that.
Okay.
If they matched.
Do you recall the reason for denial of those TA applications?
One of them I do know was for tenure. It had been inactive for longer than allowed under K.A.R. 82.3.111. I believe one was denied for one or two of them were denied for high fluid level, and another one was denied. I believe the application was incomplete, as I recall.
With respect to the incomplete application, I understand you don't have it before you, but has staff conducted any investigation to determine if that incomplete application contained the same information previously submitted by the previous operator?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mr. Clark, have you had an opportunity to discuss this matter at all with Mr. Clausen?
I have not discussed it with Mr. Clausen.
Has anyone on your team had any discussions with Mr. Clausen as to what may be required to bring these wells into compliance, other than the mailed notices?
I did have a conversation with SH Oil regarding the TA NOV letter in the list of 45 wells. Yes, but not with Mr. Clausen.
And Mr. Clark, did commission staff have any challenges accessing these wells to conduct their field investigations after the NOV letter?
No.
Were they able to access every well?
Yes.
And based on their observation of the wells, were these wells in a location that a rig could be put over them at the time?
That I don't know. The lease inspections were done over a week period, so I really couldn't speak to the conditions at that time.
Were those inspections done on foot or via vehicle?
We drive to locations in our state vehicles and our state trucks. I mean, they may have gotten out of their vehicles, of course, to go over and take GPS readings and to inspect the wells themselves.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Clark. I don't have any additional questions. Thank you, Mr. Clark. I don't have any additional questions.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, very well. Let's turn now to commissioner questions. Commissioner Keither, any questions?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, I do have some questions of you, Mr. Clark, if I may. Let me take a look at both your direct and your rebuttal testimony. Within your direct testimony, you do address several issues having to do with the operator's compliance history. Could you review that for us? What's your take on the compliance history?
Uh, SH Oil, since becoming a licensed operator, I believe they have been issued 8 penalty orders, including the 3 they're subject today, as well as a shut-in order in docket 25-CONS-3296-CPEN for conducting oil and gas operations on a suspended license. And at this time, SH Oil's license is suspended.
All right. And those would all date from, if I'm looking at your pre-filed testimony, and I'm looking on page 4, specifically at line 5, where it indicates that SH Oil Operations LLC received a license from the commission on May 14, 2021. So if that being the case, then you're saying all of these violations were subsequent to that date.
Correct.
All right. What is your take on the role, and I may not do justice to this name, but what is the role that Mr. Karagianis plays in the operation?
Karagianis.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure I can still pronounce it. What role, in your take, does he play in the operations of SH Oil Operations?
Well, Mr. Karagianis claims that he is only a consultant for SH Oil, but he remains the main point of contact for SH Oil in contacting both myself and my staff. And also, I believe that my staff have also been on site with Mr. Karagianis as well as Mr. Clausen out in the field. But the main point of contact for SH Oil has always been Paul C. Karagianis.
All right, very well. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and conclude my my examination, and I'm just about there, of Mr. Clark, and then Sheriff French, I'm going to gladly turn it over to you. Jeff, when I look at your rebuttal testimony, and I'm looking now on page 6 of your rebuttal testimony, basically lines 6 through 10. This basically contains, at this juncture, as I take it, your recommendations as to what the commission should do at this point. Is that correct?
That's correct. I believe the commission should affirm the penalty.
And I know that you've noted already that currently the operator's license is suspended.
That's correct.
What contingencies would it take for that license to not be suspended?
The operator would need to submit the remaining temporary abandonment applications in their entirety on the remaining 36 wells, also bringing the 4 wells that were denied into compliance. As you're aware, some of these wells will be 10-year TA wells, which does require more than just an application. On K.A.R, a CP 111, that does require a formal application before the commission. The wells, I don't know if you're wanting me to address that, the current suspension, it doesn't, that well is not part of the subject wells here, but that's a separate penalty. I think that is just a matter of either, again, returning that well to service, plugging it, or filing an appropriate temporary abandonment application on it.
Does the operator operate wells other than those that were acquired pursuant to this auction?
Well, there were several different properties acquired, not all from this auction. I believe this auction just contained wells that were in, I may be wrong here, Morris Chase, and I believe a well maybe in Harvey County. I believe the wells that are out west, Kingman and further west, I think those were purchased from a different operator.
Okay.
I know the ones in my district were.
Okay, I'll ask these questions of the operator. The operator has indicated in his testimony, and some of the pleadings by counsel for the operator indicate as well, that when he obtained the leases finally as a result of the auction, that there were no well records that were provided by the previous operator. To what extent does that factor impair the commission's ability to adequately oversee compliance by the operator?
Well, it's not staff's responsibility to ensure that the wells remain in compliance with commission rules and regulations. It really is the operator's responsibility to ensure upon that purchase, what they're purchasing. Are these wells in compliance with rules and regulations, and to even though they may not have all the well files, the information as to, again, the temporary abandonment applications were of a public record on the wells that were in compliance. Those are a public record. Those can be found on the Kansas Geological Survey's website. So a lot of this information is publicly available. As far as the well records, I can't speak to that, why they didn't obtain those. But it is the operator's responsibility to ensure that the wells are in compliance with commission rules and regulations.
Okay, very well. That concludes all the questions that I have of Mr. Clark. Chair French, with your consent, I will go ahead and conclude the redirect here as well. So I would let's turn to the redirect and recross. Mr. Kimbrell, any redirect?
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Mr. Phillips, any recross?
Just a couple of questions, Commissioner. Mr. Clark, you referenced that the operator's license is currently suspended. I didn't catch the order under which that was the case. Can you please give me that information?
Mr. Phillips, I don't know that I have that in front of me. I can reference the well name.
That will be fine.
It's a Ramsdale well, I believe, in Kingman County.
And I can provide that docket number. It's 26 CONS 3127-CPEN.
Can you 2387?
3127.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And is that, I think you said that was related to the TA status on that well. Is that correct, Mr. Clark?
The well did receive a TA notice of violation, a temporary abandonment notice of violation, where again, deadlines passed, operator didn't perform, didn't return the well to service, plug the well, or sink temporary abandonment on it, and so it was turned over to legal staff for penalty, and then again, the operator didn't perform, and so they have and council can. I don't have that information in front of me, but I know they've been sent, I believe, a license suspension letter.
And do you know the date of that letter, Mr. Clark?
Again, I don't have it in front of me. Council would maybe able to provide that.
I believe the letter was sent on December 11th.
Thank you. And Mr. Clark, I believe you testified that in order to have their license returned to active status, SH Oil would need to either show evidence that that well is currently producing or submit a TA application and have it approved by the commission. Is that correct?
I'm going to object at this point in time. This is a completely different docket. It has no bearing on this current matter.
Well, I would argue that Mr. Clark testified that both all of the wells that are at issue in this matter and that well need to be addressed for the operator's license to return to active status. And I'm trying to clarify that the operator's license is currently only suspended for that well. This was news to us. We had not received that letter, and I think we have the right to flesh out what's required to get the license returned to active status.
Again, completely different docket. It has no bearing on this matter in front of us.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Mr. Phillips, any further questions?
No, Commissioner.
All right. Chair French, with my profound apologies, do you have any questions of the witness?
No apologies needed. I was looking through sort of questions I had and was able to follow what you had asked, and I don't believe I had anything else.
All right, very well. I believe with that, Mr. Clark, I think we've concluded your examination. I'm going to ask you one follow-up question. I don't mean to be unfair to the operator in any respect by asking this, but from your perspective, does the operator have the wherewithal to actually fulfill the obligation of either returning these wells to production or to plug them in terms of the manpower it could put toward that effort of the fund? Do you have any insight on that?
My opinion is I don't believe that SHOL has the resources to bring these wells into compliance.
Okay. Mr. Phillips, in fairness to you, in response to that additional question, do you have any further recross?
No, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you very much. That being the case, I believe your service as a witness here is concluded. Mr. Clark, you may virtually step down. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Chair French, with your indulgence, thank you very much. And I'm more than pleased to return the chair of this proceeding back to you.
Well, thank you for the handoff, and I apologize to everybody for my scheduling snafu, but I believe I'm caught up. So at this time, looks like we are ready to move on to our next witness, and that would be operator. So SH Oil, you may call your witness.
SH Oil calls Brian Clausen to the stand.
All right, Mr. Clausen, will you please raise your right hand for me? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you will give today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Phillips.
Will you please state your full name for the record?
My name is Brian R. Clausen.
And Mr. Clausen, are you the same Brian Clausen that filed the pre-filed direct testimony dated October 2024, consisting of 4 pages in this docket?
Yes.
And does the pre-filed testimony that you have before you accurately represent your testimony, and do you affirm it under oath?
Yes.
I move to admit the pre-filed testimony of Brian Clausen to the record.
Any
No
objection?
objection. No objection.
The reference testimony will be admitted.
Mr. Clausen, if I may, do you have anything to add or change in this testimony?
The only thing I would add is that we have not received notification of any suspension.
Okay, with that, I'll turn the witness over, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kimbrell, any cross-examination?
Just a few questions. So thank you, Mr. Clausen, for being here today. As a bit of background, how many wells does SH Oil have on its license? And I believe you're muted.
I apologize, Tristan.
That's 77.
Okay. And at issue in this docket are 45 wells, correct?
Yes. So
half of your wells are currently part of this docket. Is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. How many of the 45 wells at issue in this docket are gas wells?
I believe all of them are.
Okay. And do you have transport lines for these wells?
Yes.
Okay. And where is the gas going?
That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to ask the consultant.
Thank you. So if you recall, was the notice of violation letter in this docket sent to SHOL back on March 13th?
Yes,
Okay. And the penalty orders were issued between May and June of this year. Is that correct?
yes,
And since that NOV letter was sent out in March, SHOL has only filed 13 temporary abandonment applications. Is that
yes,
correct?
yes,
And staff's only approved 9 of those TA applications.
yes.
Okay. Has SHOL plugged any of the 45 wells?
No,
And has SHOL brought any of the wells back into production?
no,
Okay. So just to make certain, in the last 9 months since the NOV letter was sent out, SHOL has only brought 9 of the 45 wells that issued in this docket back into compliance, correct?
yes.
Okay. I have no further questions at this time. Thank you.
All right, we will now turn to commissioner questions. Commissioners, do you have any questions, beginning with Commissioner Keither and Commissioner Keen?
Which of us did you wish to have go first, Chair Friend?
Oh, Commissioner Keither gave me a no, so go ahead, Commissioner Keen.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I do have a number of questions. Some of which Mr. Kimbrell assisted me in through his cross-examination. Let me ask you this, if I may, Mr. Clausen. By requesting this hearing, what action or relief is it that you're requesting of the commission?
We just need an extension of time to get these wells into compliance. We sold all of our wells west of Kingman, trying to raise enough money to get these wells into compliance. We just need an extension of time to get it done.
You would, if you could please summarize for us, give us some idea of what is your background or experience in the oil and gas business?
It's new to me. I'm still in the learning process. I've only been doing this for about 6 years. So it's still a learning process for me.
Did you have experience in the business prior to forming SH Oil?
No, I did not.
So your experience goes back to roughly 2019, is that correct?
Yes.
And as I understand it, these leases were acquired at auction, is that correct?
Yes.
Were there other bidders?
Oh, yes.
Really? From whom did you purchase these leases? Who was the prior operator?
I don't remember the name.
I think it was Montgomery.
Montgomery?
Sorry?
Is that Montgomery?
Is that a first or last name?
Last name.
Where were they located?
I believe in Marion.
Marion County, Kansas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Incidental to this auction, it appears that these leases were acquired were in, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Morris, Marion, Chase, and Harvey. Is that correct?
Yes.
Those 4 counties.
Yes.
All right. And how many wells were acquired? Was it 45 or more?
It was 45.
45. Okay. What's the average depth of these wells?
I'm thinking somewhere in between 16 and 1800.
And what are the producing formations?
I don't know.
You don't know what are the producing formations from which these wells produce?
I think almost all of them are gas.
And they're all gas wells, right? I get that.
I believe so, yes.
No oil production whatsoever?
Well, there might be, a little bit, but it's more gas than oil.
Do you sell oil?
Yes. Out of our producing wells.
Not necessarily these wells. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
no, not from these because they're not.
Okay.
They're not.
I'm sorry, I talked over you. Please say again.
These 45 wells are not producing right now because they're not in operation.
I understand that. That's because of the suspension. Is that correct?
Well, they're not compliance either, so can't run them without them being in compliance.
Okay. If they were producing, and I guess they were producing in the hands of the prior operator, who's the first purchaser of the gas?
I'm not sure of that either.
If you brought these wells back into production, you'd have to sell the production to at least break even, would you not?
Yes.
And that have to be sold to someone. Do you have any purchase contracts that have been negotiated, or would we be could be negotiated in anticipation of bringing these wells back into production?
I haven't looked into that yet.
Let's go back to the point of your acquisition for a minute here. From your perspective, what was the inducement, or what raised your interest in purchasing, acquiring, or bidding for these leases?
Trying to expand my operation and make some more money. I got them at a pretty good price. Thought we could make it work. And what with the wet weather that went on, and then crop season, we couldn't get to the wells because they're out in the middle of cornfields. Roads are gone. I mean, we just couldn't get to them. And back this last summer, we had the money, but we just couldn't get to it.
And why didn't you get to it?
Well, because of the crops. Almost every single well out there is out in the middle of a cornfield, and there's no access. There's no access roads out to the wells. They can't just drive through their crops.
Oh, I see. So it was this wet throughout June, July, August, September, October, and November. Is that correct?
Well, most of the time, yeah.
Really, throughout the summer months, it was so wet that you couldn't get out into the field.
Well, like I said, it's crops. You can't, if there's no access road, you can't just drive through their crops and destroy their crop.
What price did you pay for these leases?
Pardon me?
What price did you pay for these leases?
I'm not going to disclose that.
Why not?
Private information.
When you purchased these leases and wells, did you realize that you were becoming liable for operating and or plugging each well that was being acquired?
Yes.
So you were aware that there was a contingent liability that is attendant to your purchase.
Yes.
All right. So if I understand it correctly, none of the leases then that were incidental to this purchase pursuant to auction are producing today, right?
That's correct.
To what extent did you perform any due diligence regarding these leases prior to your purchase? Did you do any investigation about that prior to bidding for these leases?
No.
Who pumps these leases for you?
Pardon me?
Who pumps these leases for you?
I've got a guy up in Shades County that does it, and I've got one in Kingman that does it.
Okay. Considering the totality of your operations, how many counties in Kansas are you operating in?
5 as of this, 5 right now.
Okay, that'd be
Where I own leases at, yeah, just 5.
okay. So it would be Morris, Chase, Marion, Harvey, and Kingman. Are those the counties?
Yes.
All right. Beyond these 45 leases, 45 wells, pardon me, with these leases that you've acquired at auction, you do have oil production from the other ones, right?
Yeah, very little, but yes.
If you could give the commission some assistance here, specifically, what is your plan at this time for restoring the inactive wells to production or for plugging them? And how are you planning on funding either of these steps?
All right, well, we've got a problem out in Kingman County between Lario Oil and the railroad. The railroad wants a $4 million insurance policy. Lario is holding up about $30,000 of my money. As soon as we get this straightened out between the railroad and all that, then we'll have the money to go start getting these things back into production.
Commissioner, may I please have a brief recess to talk with my client?
Different.
Yes, we can recess for 5 minutes if that's okay with Commissioner Keen,
It's fine with me.
since we're interrupting your questioning.
It's
All
fine.
right, please everybody go on mute. We are in recess and off the record.
I appreciate the opportunity. We're ready to resume when the commission is.
So since our license is suspended,
All right, I've got 9:21. Thank you for taking the slide down. We are now out of recess and back on the record. And Commissioner Keene, you may resume your questioning.
Thank you, Chair French. Mr. Clausen, let's go back to the point that I was trying to have you address, which had to do with whatever plan you have for restoring the inactive wells to protection or to plug the wells.
Commissioner, can I interrupt you for just a minute?
Sure.
I'd like to revise my previous statement. I did receive the money from Lario last week. And it just slipped my mind, and it's in the bank. I've already sold other assets, and we'll be using the money from that to work on those wells up there too. So,
all right.
All
right, fine. So how much money?
Some of them I think we're going to plug, but I think it would be a waste of natural resources to do so. I'd like to get them all in operation, but we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, most of the infrastructure is still there. So I don't know exactly what it's going to take to get them all operating. I haven't had a chance to really go out there and inspect everything. I've only been out there twice, you know, to change signs and things like that, but it's like a 2.5-hour drive from Wichita.
Right. Since you've acquired these leases, you've only been out to the physical location of these leases twice in over 10 months. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You think that's adequate oversight?
Probably not. I've been sick a lot. So.
Mr. Clausen, I appreciate your clarifying the matter that you had with Lario. Approximately, what's the extent of the funds that you received from them?
Around 22,000.
22,000. You have other investors in SH Oil?
Yes, I do.
How many?
3.
Do they provide financial assistance in funding operations?
No.
They do not?
No.
So in order to fund operations, plug wells, bring them back online, what are your sources of revenue to accomplish those goals?
Well, from the wells that we've got operating, or that we have, I got to go up half. I make money doing construction work. I put that money into my company. Gas and oil sales from the wells out in Kingman. That money goes into the company. I mean, it's not much, but doing what I can.
So basically, how is it that you intend to obtain funds sufficient enough to bring these wells back into production and or plug them? And what kind of timeline do you think you need to do that?
I'm thinking probably at least 6 months. That's a lot of wells.
And how do you obtain, how is that, those operations to be funded? How will they be funded? Primarily from your construction work? Is that what I take it?
Yeah.
Right. But not from other investors that you have, right?
Well, they invested in the original purchase of the leases. And as they come into operation, then they get paid you know, from the proceeds of the sales of the natural gas and oil that is generated.
Is there a gas purchaser within a reasonable distance of where these wells are located?
Yes.
Is there?
I don't recall the name, but yes, there is.
Have you ever negotiated a gas sales contract?
No.
I'm going to give you a heads up. They're complicated.
Are they?
Yes. One thing that concerns me a lot about your ability to perform here is what I'm going to call is the adequacy or inadequacy of well information. I guess what I'm asking you is that why did you not insist as a condition of your purchase of these wells that you would receive information relevant to each of these wells so that you could operate them?
I guess I was just misinformed or not informed enough.
Are you aware of the costs that you may have to incur to obtain information pertinent to each of these wells that you haven't obtained from the prior purchaser?
Could you repeat that?
Yes. Are you aware of the costs that you're likely to incur to try to obtain information about each of these wells that you're going to have to do it on your own because you didn't obtain that information from the seller?
No, I'm unaware of any cost that I might incur.
Do you know where the perforations are on these wells?
No.
Don't know where the perforation. So we don't know what the zone is that it's producing from then, do we?
No.
We don't know whether the casing was cemented to the top when these wells were initially drilled and completed, do we? You don't know that?
No, I don't.
Don't know whether the casing size is 4.5, 5.5. What the tubing is, or whether there are pumps in the well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If I interrupted you, add what you were going to say.
I believe that 4.5-inch casing on those wells.
Okay. And then once you actually, there's such a dearth of information that you don't have that really makes your task going forward that much more expensive because you're going to have to incur costs to find out all these things. Do you really know whether or not of these 45 wells, if any of them need pulled right now because they're incapable of pumping?
I have no idea.
Well, all right. I guess my last question for you is this, and I'll just preface it through the overview of your circumstances as I understand it. And if I misstate any of these facts, I want you to correct me. You acquire 45 wells via an auction in late 24 and these come into your possession in early 25. Since that time, none have been plugged. None have been returned to production status. You've made 13 applications for temporary abandonment status. 9 of these have been approved, 4 haven't. And the rest of the 36, you've taken no action on. You don't have any information about the details of these wells. The terms of a gas purchase contract are yet to be determined, if there is one. In May, June of 25, the commission penalized you for 45 violations of K.A.R. 82-3-111. The staff first sent letters regarding these wells in March of 2025. Here we are in December of 2025. And most of these violations have not been taken care of. The staff has concerns about compliance history. And so I guess my question to you is, why have you not taken more steps to bring, and just in showing good faith, to bring these wells into compliance than you have during the time you've owned them?
I've been ill this last summer. Last year I was in the hospital for 8 days. I had COVID and pneumonia both at the same time, and it's damaged my lungs, and I can't get out and do the field work like I used to. If finding enough employees that want to work, that know what they're doing, is next to impossible. I've got office staffing changes. My main office gal that did all my paperwork and stuff like that, she quit. And trying to find a competent secretary that knows what she's doing. I've got a new gal now, but she only works part-time, and I need a full-time lady. Just ill health and bad timing.
Okay. Mr. Clausen, with all of these issues, and they're not insignificant, how is it you believe that 6 months would be an adequate time period for you to bring all of these wells into compliance?
I don't know if I could do it in 6 months. It might take as much as a year.
I appreciate your indulgence in my questions. I have no further questions at this time.
Commissioner Keene covered any ground I was going to cover, so we will turn to redirect. Mr. Phillips, do you have any redirect of your client?
I do not, Commissioner.
Okay. Well, then I'm assuming no need for recross then, Mr. Kimbrell.
No need. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Clausen, we appreciate your testimony today. You are released. You may virtually step down. We will now turn to closing statements. If the parties are interested, we will allow brief closing statements, beginning with SH Oil. Mr. Phillips.
Thank you, Commissioner. As I opened with, this is a case where unfortunately SH Oil has apparently bit off more than they can chew, and run into circumstances that have made it difficult for the company to bring these wells into compliance. I understand that it may appear that minimal efforts have been made, but my client would put forth that significant effort has been made. It just doesn't come across as such. And my client sincerely wishes to continue as a viable operator, and specifically to bring this asset into compliance and bring in some revenue from operating these wells. He would ask for some grace from the commission and an opportunity to do so. And with that, I would rest. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Mr. Kimbrell.
Thank you. Commissioners, I believe the facts have clearly shown that SH Oil was not in compliance with K.A.R. 823111 for the 45 wells when the commission issued the penalty orders, and SH Oil is still out of compliance for most of those wells. They've had 9 months since staff first sent out the NOV letter, and as Mr. Clausen testified, he's only been out to the least twice in that amount of time. I do not believe that the commission should reward SH Oil with any additional time to bring these wells into compliance. So staff asks that the commission affirm the penalty orders. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kimbrell. Before we conclude, I'll just note, as far as post-hearing issues, it's my understanding the parties did not see a need to file post-hearing legal briefs. So unless something has changed there, We will not anticipate any briefing. Are there any other post-hearing issues the commission needs to be made aware of before we conclude?
No, Chair.
Seeing none, this does conclude our hearing in this docket. At this time, we will close the record and adjourn. Thank you all for your participation today. We're adjourned.